This is Good Morning San Diego.
The U.S. economy added 139,000 jobs in May, which was slightly more than expected. Joining us now to talk more about May's job numbers is employment attorney Annie Ellis. Good morning, Annie. Great to see you.
Always nice to see you.
Well, this was interesting because it was higher than expected. Talk a little bit about initial reaction and why maybe, this is a lagging indicator in some ways.
Yeah, I think so. More than half the jobs came from healthcare, which I think is kind of expected. That's a trend we're seeing. Leisure and hospitality came after that, but it's seasonal, and I know we forget that sometimes in San Diego, but other places have seasons where they ramp up hiring. But I think the big headliner was the reduction in the federal government jobs. So year to date, no secret, hashtag Doge has been cutting some jobs. We've lost 60,000, over a third were from last month alone. That was the biggest loss so far, and so I think that number is going to continue to increase as the months go on. But what I found the most interesting was there was a loss of over 600,000 workers. So normally you've got column A, I'm employed, column B, I'm unemployed. And if someone moves from column A to column B, one number goes down and one number goes up. Right. But it didn't. Unemployment stayed the same. And so what are these 600,000 people doing? And I don't think retirement can explain all of it. So I think there is some concern that the labor market is steady, but potentially cooling, and what's going to happen next.
Right. Eventually those 600,000 could move into that not employed category. What do you mark off if you are, I guess, accepting unemployment, or just maybe you got a severance package of some sort and you're not actively looking at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's a number that really impacted the month before too, which is we know that the federal government is shedding jobs, but a lot of these people are on severance or paid administrative leave, so they're not showing up in the numbers yet. Right. They still look like they're unemployed. So my prediction is come September, I think the federal government loss number is going to shoot up, and the unemployment rate is probably going to reflect that same thing as well.
What about the inflection of AI into the job market and what we're hearing from recent college grads that some of those entry-level positions are being taken up by AI? Are you having to deal with hearing any of this?
I'm glad you brought this up because this is one of my favorite times of year to look at the job report. Congratulations, the class of 2025. You're coming into a chilling labor market. Yeah. But I do think AI is impacting entry-level jobs. I'm not worried about it taking my job anytime soon. I told a client that last week. But when it comes to, rote sort of numbers and data entry and things like that, sort of just basic skill sets, I think we are going to see an issue with this graduating class trying to get into their positions and trying to get jobs.
What about where our salaries are trending or not? I mean, we obviously in California are seeing those price increases for minimum wage jobs going up. That affecting, I think, the job market here in California that, some people were predicting and other people were saying, no one's going to lose their job. What are you seeing as far as California with that minimum wage increase and the continued increases from here are doing?
Well, we're around the corner from our semi-annual wage increase. So a lot of cities in California either do January 1st or July 1st. So for example, LA has a wage increase that's coming up in July 1st. Now, overall in the jobs report, we didn't see a big increase in the wages. It was something like 15 cents or 0.4%, which is pretty comparable. But that's the whole nation, not just California. Yeah. So I do think as we're going to continue to see more wage increases, we're going to see an impact on the U.S., on the California economy. But I think right now what businesses are doing is they're holding resources because they don't know what's going to happen with these trade discussions and with these tariffs. If you're a business and you sell, say, widgets, is your widget going to go up in 30% in 3 months? And if so, I'm not hiring. I'm probably going to keep my workers, and my workers are going to stay put, and they're not leaving. And I think all of that is contributing to these numbers.
Right. Well, overall, silver linings for us to take away. Nothing to panic about, right?
Yet.
And then as far as, if you are unemployed, areas maybe you're seeing that are open and looking.
Healthcare is the biggest area. I think, stay away from manufacturing and government jobs right now. Those probably aren't going to be your friend. Seasonal jobs are going to be the best source of income and the best possibility for the next few months.
All right. Annie Ellis, as always, appreciate the insight, expertise, and humor.
Thanks, Lauren.